I raised my hand and stared down at the cut. "Hey!" I uttered in surprise. What was trickling out from the cut? Not blood. It was red, blue, yellow, and black. Ink! Cool, Mitzi cried. "Where's that new Masked Mutant comic?" I asked. I suddenly had the feeling that my comic book career wasn't over. Hey guys, Bjorn here again, Goosebumps #1 Aussie fan, bringing you yet another book review. So yeah, I've just finished up reading Attack of the Mutants. It is a fantastic Goosebumps book, definitely a classic. So yeah, let's discuss. Let's dive in. So yeah guys, just finished reading up Attack of the Mutant. Now it is definitely one of the greatest Goosebumps stories, I must admit. The story is about a 12-year-old obese kid named Skipper who is obsessed with this villain called the Masked Mutant. And it's funny, it kind of makes me think of like our obsession for Goosebumps. Like they're all villains. Like Slappy's like my hero, but he's a villain. It's kind of like Skipper with the Masked Mutant. It's his favorite character. But he's obsessed with comic books. Basically, he tries to get like his friend into the comic books, but he's not interested. He likes collecting rocks and a whole bunch of other stuff. And one day he's heading home from school on the bus, and he notices the Masked Mutant's headquarters as he gets off the bus, because he actually misses his stop because he starts chatting away with this girl named Libby, this red-headed girl that's actually in the comic books just like him. So they get chatting away and talking. And basically, yeah, so he ends up missing his stop. He gets off the bus and he notices the Masked Mutant's headquarters. So he's like, whoa! He goes home, tries to convince his parents what he saw. They don't believe him. The dad believes that he's starting to rot in his mind, starting to see things because he's reading too many comic books and not doing his school homework. But yeah, the next day he goes past where he saw the Masked Mutant's headquarters to see it again, but it's not there. And he tells like Libby, his friend, she doesn't believe him. And then when he gets home that night, he gets a new issue of the comic book, The Masked Mutant, and it turns out that an invisibility cloak has been like put over the headquarters, so it's like hidden. And so he thinks, oh, that must be what happened. Kind of like Harry Potter, the invisibility cloak. So he goes back the next day and he goes with Libby to try and convince her. And sure enough, they enter the mutant's headquarters. But as he enters, he gets scanned with like this yellow beam of light. And we'll get to what happens, the reason why he got that scanned beam of light. And as they're searching around the headquarters, he actually finds these sketches, and on the sketches it's like drawings of a young boy, and he notices it looks exactly like him. It looks just like Skipper. So he goes home the next day, once again trying to convince parents, whatnot. He gets another issue of the Masked Mutant, and pretty much in this issue, everything that happened with him, going into the headquarters and whatnot, the boy entered the headquarters, he's actually in the comic book. It's about Skipper entering the building and whatnot. So he then realizes, oh my god, I'm in the comic book now. So then he goes back the next day, and also it says that he has to the Galloping Gazelle is kidnapped and he has to rescue the Galloping Gazelle. Only the young boy can. So he goes back the next day and basically he has to rescue the Galloping Gazelle. So he finds the Galloping Gazelle. He's all tied up and whatnot, and then he lets him, helps him get out. But then the Masked Mutant appears, and the Galloping Gazelle tries to do his fast spinning thing around him, but he ends up actually abandoning Skipper, because he's a coward, basically, and he leaves, and then he's left to fight the Galloping Gazelle, left to fight the Masked Mutant by himself. And then Libby appears, starts firing this gun, this yellow gun, but turns out that wasn't actually the Masked Mutant that he thought was there. It's actually Libby is not real. Basically, the Masked Mutant is disguised himself as his friend. So then eventually transforms back into the Masked Mutant, and then basically Skipper tries to like fool him into thinking he's like this elastic boy or whatnot. And then the masked mutant like believes him. He's like, I knew it, you know. And then basically what happens after that is he says the only way I can be destroyed by sulfuric acid. So the masked mutant, you know, tries to transform into sulfuric acid because he can transform, you know, and tries to transform into it. But turns out he ends up like destroying himself. Basically, that's what happens. And yeah, so Skipper thinks it's all over and whatnot. He goes home the next day, and as we found out at the end, when he cuts himself, he starts dripping out ink. So yeah, his story is not over. But yeah, that's basically the story of the Masked Mutant. I guess, you know, he finds the headquarters of the Masked Mutant. So basically, everything ends up being real. Like everything he's reading in these comic books is real. You know, Galloping Gazelle, all that. He finds this headquarters. You know, tries to convince parents. They don't believe him. Goes back with a friend. Then they end up, you know, he gets that scanned by that machine. And then he actually becomes a part of the comic book. He then has to try and rescue the Galloping Gazelle. He's a coward, runs away, but then he eventually, defeats the Masked Mutant. But turns out he's actually still part of the story at the end because he's, you know, dripping the ink out of his body. But yeah, guys, scare factor. I wouldn't say it's too scary. Actually, it's not a real scary kind of Goosebump book. It's just a really entertaining one. I would say scare factor is only like a 7. It's not scary. But overall, I'd say probably like a 9.5. It's a good book. Definitely a great Goosebumps read. Goosebumps approved. But yeah, guys, it's fantastic. I would definitely recommend it. The next book review I will be doing is Monster Blood 2, and then I'll be doing Night of the Living Dummy 2. Actually, no, hang on, sorry. The next one I'll be doing is Monster Blood 2, One Day at Horrorland, and then Night of the Living Dummy 2. Sorry, guys. Another thing I just thought I'd let you guys know now is that I actually have a Facebook page, okay, which is kind of connected through my my YouTube channel. So I'll be doing pretty much the same thing I do on here, just posting information about Goosebumps, the sequel, whatnot, and, you know, things that, you know, updated collection pictures and what, you know. So I'll put that down below in the description. I'll also put it up here, so please go on there and like my page. I'm trying to get as many likes as I have on YouTube now too. Of course, this will be my main source, but I'll also be posting updates and new information on there as well. So please check that out, and I hope you enjoyed this book review, and see you again soon.